The United States Navy is entering a moment that could redefine the future of warfare. For decades, American power has been projected across the world's oceans through aircraft carriers, massive floating air bases that symbolize dominance and deterrence. Now, the Navy is exploring something even more radical. Aircraft carriers may no longer be limited to the sea. Instead, they may take to the sky. The idea of a flying aircraft carrier sounds like science fiction, but it is rooted in real history and modern technology. And once again, the United States is attempting to turn an old dream into a new reality. The reason this idea is resurfacing is simple. The United States already dominates the oceans like no other nation. Roughly a quarter of all aircraft carriers in the world belong to the U.S., and the combined flight deck space of American carriers exceeds that of every other Navy combined. On top of that, the newest U.S. carriers are far more lethal than anything that came before them. The Gerald R. Ford-class carriers represent the peak of naval engineering, pushing technology to levels that no rival can currently match. At the heart of these carriers is nuclear power. Each Gerald R. Ford-class carrier is driven by two Bechtel A-1B nuclear reactors, the most advanced naval reactors ever built. These reactors allow the ship to operate for up to 50 years without refueling. In practical terms, the carrier can sail for 25 years straight before even needing to think about nuclear fuel. With a top speed of around 30 knots, this massive warship can reach any corner of the planet fast enough to influence events as they unfold. Whether supporting allies or threatening adversaries, it arrives with overwhelming force. Technology is what truly separates the Ford class from older carriers. These ships are equipped with next-generation sensors, processors, and weapon systems designed to merge intelligence and firepower into a single, seamless system. Unlike most carriers, which rely on multiple radar systems, the Ford uses a unified solution. The AN-SPY-3 multifunction radar handles horizon search, volume search, air traffic control, missile guidance, and target tracking all at once. This level of integration allows the carrier to see threats earlier, respond faster, and coordinate its defenses with extreme precision. Of course, an aircraft carrier is only as powerful as the aircraft it launches. The USS Gerald R. Ford can host up to 75 aircraft and unmanned aerial vehicles at a time. These include fourth-generation fighters, airborne early warning aircraft, helicopters, and most importantly, the F-35C Lightning II. The F-35C is the Navy's crown jewel, a fifth-generation stealth fighter designed to dominate modern battlefields. Its development cost, estimated at over $400 billion, makes it the most expensive weapons program in Pentagon history. But that investment produced an aircraft capable of air superiority, strike missions, reconnaissance, and electronic warfare. And when the sixth-generation F/A-XX fighter enters service, the Ford-class carriers are already prepared to operate it. With such dominance at sea, it is natural that American planners are asking a bold question. If aircraft carriers rule the oceans, why not extend that power into the sky itself? The concept of flying aircraft carriers is not new. In fact, it dates back more than a century. As early as 1917, experiments were conducted using airships to carry small fighter aircraft. These parasite fighters were intended to defend the massive airships from enemy interceptors. While airships eventually fell out of favor, the idea of airborne carriers never fully disappeared. During the Cold War, the concept returned in new forms. In the 1970s, the U.S. Air Force explored the possibility of converting large aircraft into flying carriers. Both the Lockheed C-5 Galaxy and the Boeing 747 were considered. Boeing's proposal argued that the 747's exceptional range and payload capacity made it ideal for carrying small fighter aircraft internally. The plan envisioned specially designed microfighters that could be launched and recovered mid-air. Although technically feasible, concerns about cost, vulnerability, and combat effectiveness prevented the project from moving forward. Lockheed took the idea even further with the CL-1201, a truly extreme concept. This aircraft would have been the size of a traditional aircraft carrier, weighing over 5,000 tons with a wingspan longer than 3 football fields. Powered partly by conventional engines and partly by a nuclear reactor, it was designed to remain airborne for over a month without landing. It could deploy and maintain more than 20 fighter aircraft while cruising at high altitude. Despite its ambition, the project never left the drawing board. The cost, complexity, and risk were simply too great. Another attempt involved the B-36 Peacemaker bomber in the 1950s. Due to its enormous size and range, the Air Force considered using it to carry small F-85 Goblin fighters. These microfighters would launch to defend the bomber and then dock back inside. While test flights did occur, the concept proved impractical. Advances in aerial refueling made such extreme solutions unnecessary, and the idea was quietly abandoned. In recent years, however, technology has once again made flying carriers attractive. Since 2015, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, known as DARPA, has been working on a new approach. Instead of carrying piloted fighters, the modern flying carrier would deploy drones. Using modified C-130 Hercules transport aircraft, DARPA's Gremlins program aims to launch and recover unmanned aerial vehicles mid-air. These drones could fly into heavily defended areas, complete their missions, and then return to the mothership for recovery and reuse. Tests have already demonstrated the ability to launch these drones successfully. While early recovery attempts face technical problems, such as parachute failures, the core concept remains sound. If perfected, this system would allow the U.S. military to project air power from safe distances, keeping valuable manned aircraft outside enemy air defenses. The result would be a layered force where flying carriers support traditional sea-based carriers, multiplying American reach and flexibility. Taken together, these developments point to a future where the United States operates both sea-based and airborne carrier fleets. Traditional supercarriers like the Gerald R would continue to dominate the oceans, while airborne platforms extend their influence into contested airspace. This combination could create an unmatched global power projection system, one that no rival currently possesses. As tensions rise and technology advances, the battle for dominance is no longer confined to land, sea, or air alone. It is becoming fully multidimensional. The United States is preparing not just to defend its dominance, but to expand it. And if history is any guide, what once seemed impossible may soon become routine. The age of flying aircraft carriers may not be science fiction for much longer.